Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the first news on 13th March newspaper front page dawn. The PTI turns tables on BDM in Senate poll. Opposition spots spy cameras in and outside polling booth. Re-elected Sancharani secures 48, Gilani backs 42 votes as 8 declared invalid. Afridi defeats Headri with a lead of 10 votes by Iftikhar A. Khan. Islamabad, in an election that ran into controversy with the detection of spy cameras installed in and around the Senate polling booth, even before voting had started, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf led ruling coalition candidate Muhammad Sadiq Sanjarani on Friday defeated opposition candidate Yusuf Raza Gilani to retain Senate chairmanship for another term. The opposition, which otherwise enjoys a clear majority in the upper house of parliament, faced the dramatic upset when it emerged that among the lawmakers who opted for Mr. Gilani, at least 7 vested their votes. In all 98 votes were polled in the 100-member Senate. Of them, 48 were secured by Mr. Sanjarani and 42 backed by Mr. Gilani were declared valid. Since the number of rejected votes exceeded the margin of latter's victory, Mr. Sanjarani was declared successful, setting off a wave of celebrations in his hometown in Balochistan. Jamaat-e-Islami, Islam's lone member in the Senate, Mushtaq Ahmed, did not turn up in line with the party's decision to abstain, while Pakistan Muslim League Nawaz Senator Iqbal Dar has been in self-exile even after expiry of half of his 6-year term. Presiding officer Senator Muzaffar Hussain Shah said of the total 8 rejected votes, even had been stamped on Mr. Gilani's name instead of the blank space in the box, while one of the voters stamped for both candidates. The polling agent for opposition alliance Pakistan Democratic Movement's candidate Farooq H. Naik questioned the decision of the presiding officer, arguing that the intent of the voters was clear and the instructions of the Senate Secretariat did not clearly mention the exact space where the stamp was supposed to be affixed. He said for the mistake committed by Senate Secretariat, the voters could not be punished. The presiding officer, however, ruled otherwise and rejected the votes. If you do not like my ruling, you can go to the tribunal, he remarked. Later, while talking to Dawn, the presiding officer said a group of 7 lawmakers within the PDM deliberately got their votes invalidated by making a mistake on the similar pattern. They knew they were required to affix the stamp in the box in front of the candidate's name, but chose to waste their votes, he said. To corroborate his claim, the officer said no ballot had been vested in the election for the office of Senate Deputy Chairman, as ruling alliance candidate Mirza Muhammad Afridi defeated the opposition candidate Maulana Abdul Ghaffur Hedri with a bigger margin of 10 votes. However, Pakistan People's Party Senator Sharif Rahman tweeted, "Nowhere do these rules pasted on the Senate polling stand say that your vote is rejected if it is on the name. It is only rejected if the stamp goes out of the box or falls outside the line. The PO decision presiding officers decided to reject 7 votes because Yusuf Razak Kilani of the PPP had won by those votes at 50. Soon after taking oath as Senate chairman, Mr. Sanjarani presided over the session for conduct of deputy chairman's election. Mr. Afridi, who was elected into the Senate from erstwhile federally administered tribal areas, FATA, on a general seat in 2018 in clinched 54 votes as against 44 secured by Maulana Hadri of the Jamiat Ulama Islam Fazl. No vote was rejected in the election. The 54 votes secured by the candidate of the ruling coalition, who has 47 seats in the House, indicate that some 7 opposition lawmakers did not vote for their candidate. Mr. Sanjarani, when administered the oath to the newly elected deputy chairman, Mr. Afridi, before announcing that the senators elected as independent had 7 days to join either the treasury or the opposition benches and reading out prorogation order. Earlier, the special session got off to a noisy start as the opposition, led by PPP Senator Raza Rabani, claimed that secret cameras had been installed at the polling booth. This is against Article 226 of the Constitution, he said, as slogans of shame, shame resonated in the House. The opposition demanded that an investigation be carried out to determine as to who was in control of the Senate. The protest prompted the presiding officer to issue directives for changing the polling booth. The current polling booth should be removed. Another should be set up afresh, he said. Earlier in the day, the newly elected senators took oaths of their offices. It was during that process that the spy cameras were found in and outside the polling booth hours before voting for the chairman and deputy chairman slots. PPP Senator Mustafa Nawaz Khokar claimed that he and PMLN Senator Mossadegh Malik found the spy cameras above the polling booth. On his Twitter account, Mr. Malik said, "Want a freaking joke? The Senate polling booth has secret hidden cameras installed. So much for democracy." Mr. Khokar and Mr. Malik also filed a written complaint, and the chair announced formation of a 6-member committee comprising 3 members from each side to investigate the matter. Interestingly, Minister for Science and Technology, Fawad Chaudhry, responded to Senator Khokar's tweet, stating that it took more like a CCTV cable and that spy cameras are far more sophisticated. The Senate Secretary should look into the claim, he added. In another tweet, the minister shared an example of a spy camera. The camera can be fitted in the head of a nail. The protection of such cameras is impossible. The detection of such cameras is impossible. In all likelihood, the CCTV camera cable has been misunderstood as a spy camera, he remarked. PML and Vice President Mariam Nawaz lashing out at the government called the ruling party habitual cited vote stealers. They have become so panicked that they have resorted to using cameras to spy on their own members when phoning agencies proved to be futile. After the result transmission system RTS and Daska Bipole Passcode, those making a last-ditch effort to drop the Senate, have lost the last battle. She said, adding that the Constitution mentions a secret vote, not secret cameras. After the parliament and the opposition refused to give an NRO to the vote stealers after failing to use the election commission and the Passcode for your own gains, it is a serious crime to disrespect the Constitution, she said. Even the electors must regret they have gotten themselves into, she added. However, Information Minister Shibli Farah said many Senate officers were appointed during the tenure of the opposition parties. He vowed to investigate the incident and expose the opposition, and they have been doing this for a long time. And this is evident from the video of Ali Gilani teaching MNAs how to waste votes, he added. Celebrations in Chagi. Mr. Sancharani's selection as the Senate chairman for another 3-year term was celebrated in his home district, Chagi, soon after the news about his victory broke. Members of the Balochistan Awami Party, Khan Sancharani panel, and residents of Dalbadin, Nukundi, Chagi, and Taftan gathered in streets and bazaars for celebration. Sweets were distributed in the areas, and a traditional dance was performed in Dalbadin and Chagi. Chairman Sancharani's supporters also announced to take out a rally on Saturday today in his hometown, Nokundi. Ali Raza reigned in Chagi also contributed to this report. And in the end, the formal request, if you have not yet, please subscribe our channel and press the like and bell button to get the fresh from us. Thank you for watching. Have a nice time. Goodbye.